Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Waha, Ruha, Kwadash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of Great Millstone. To you I say Shalom. Salutations to the hopeful elect, it's your brother Amrayam. And this whole Charlie Kirk assassination has brought out some very, very dark intentions of these Edomites. All right. Now I'm going to play a few snippets for you so you can kind of get an idea of where this is all headed. But Charlie Kirk was no Messiah. He was no martyr. All right. Definitely not innocent. All right. As it speaks in Job chapter 4. But life and death is in the power of the tongue, and he chose to push forward death, all right? And therefore, he has reaped the same. But you got a lot of people out here, a lot of Edomites, so-called self-proclaimed white people, call themselves rising up, all right? And this is just the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right? To set the world on fire. All right, to bring division. And in these latter days, you're starting to see it more clearly, but the men of the Lord have been already warning about this for some time now. And even Yahweh Shai told you in his own words, verse 51, Luke 12 and 51. Suppose you that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you no, but rather division, all right? And we are in a time of division. All right. Let's take a look at the video and we'll come back with some more scriptures afterwards.
So let's talk a little bit about backlash for the assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday. This shooting happened in Utah. The first suspect they detained was an old white guy. They detained another person of interest. They let that person go. Both of those people have been released. The photos of another person of interest that they're showing this morning is a white guy. This was in Utah. This was a white-on-white crime. And so today, 5 historically black colleges and universities on the East Coast have been deluged with bomb threats and have had to either lock down or close for the rest of the week. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that a black person or a person of color was involved in this shooting in any way, shape, or form. This was a white guy. What the hell does that have to do with historically black colleges and universities, 5 of which have now either had to shut down or are on lockdown because they've been flooded with bomb threats the day after this happens? The fuck, man?
We are now following breaking news about a string of threats at a number of historically black colleges and universities today. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell is following this for us. What can you tell us, Kelly?
Well, Chris, I think this is at this point in the abundance of caution phase, where universities that are a part of the HBU system, the historically black colleges, a number of them in Virginia, also in Alabama, saying that they have received threats and therefore taking action to lock down a campus or cancel classes or send out warnings to students and to the university community. Obviously, just one day after the Charlie Kirk assassination, in an environment where we have seen a lot of gun violence and a lot of acting out of dangerous threats where citizens can be inadvertently involved in a dangerous circumstance, this is the kind of thing more universities, as they assess a situation, make a determination for what is best for their community, and to try to reduce the potential for any harm. By locking down or canceling classes, it clearly reduces the amount of foot traffic. It allows authorities to follow through on any leads. We have made outreach to different kinds of law enforcement, from the federal to the state level and local communities, as well as the Department of Education. And at this point, we don't have a sense of where this is coming from or how connected it may be. But the fact that these colleges are feeling they need to take action, and in light of the timing, given yesterday's events on a college campus in Utah, there is a sense of wanting to be prudent and to provide members of the community, students, faculty, neighbors of a campus, with warning to help them make their best choices. So as we learn more, we will bring it to you. But at this point, there are no injuries. There's no acts of violence that we are aware of. This is in the category of threats and then taking prudence.
I'm willing to bet the person that shot Charlie Kirk was either black or trans, or an ally of the Palestinians, or a Palestinian. You fucking people are scum.
Good morning to the great superior race. I understood something this morning. I learned why Ooga Boogas like basketball so much. Because it involves their three favorite things: running, stealing, and shooting. Have a great day. Stay white. Stay prideful.
This goes out to all my brothers and sisters in TikTok land. Keep it white, loud, and proud, my people. Have a great white day.
It's time we rise. It's time we rise. It's time we rise.
So it has begun. They done start threatening all the HBCUs. Boy, this shit about to be ridiculous. Us black folk ain't had nothing to do with that shit. Why the fuck y'all adding us? You need to be going to Nebraska, Oklahoma. He look like he was of an Alabama hue. Roll Tide. Go threaten them motherfuckers. We ain't did shit to y'all. Where the Black Panthers at? I need a section of the Black Panthers to go over there to protect the children. These motherfuckers wild. And it's all a distraction. That shit crazy. You supposed to be looking for a white sniper, but here y'all going threaten goddamn black colleges. This shit wasn't nothing but division. You hear me? They done turned Charlie Kirk into a goddamn martyr.
All right. So you can see what direction this is headed in. All right. This is Esau Edom's last-ditch effort to go ahead and do what he's been fantasizing about to you Jakes for some time. All right. And though you had nothing to do with this Charlie Kirk situation, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians are going to be blamed, whether it's true or not. It doesn't matter. You're going to be blamed by these Edomites because they've always fantasized about eradicating you, all right, and destroying you and unaliving you in all manner of ways. And this also is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in these latter days, that 2/3 of the nation of Israel be punished. All right. So as a last-ditch effort to get blood off of my hands, I'm going to tell you how it really is. All right. 66% of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, are to be eradicated before the return of Yahweh Shai, whom you ignorantly call Jesus. All right. And he's going to use the nation of Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, and his cohorts to do so. It's going to be race wars, which you see the buildup of that already. Class wars, ultimately civil war. All right. Ethnicity against ethnicity. Salakia. All right. You're talking about race against race. All right. And this is truly a plan by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, to get rid of the undesirables. All right. If you're going to have any chance of surviving what is coming. All right, because it gets worse from here. Famines, pestilences, plagues, wars, the sword. All right, we truly are a flock being led to the slaughter. All right. If you're going to survive what is coming, you have to be a portion of the Lord's elect of the nation of Israel. All right. Those are the only ones that are promised any type of safety from what is coming. And quite frankly, if you haven't repented, if you don't know the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son, you have no chance to survive what is coming. All right. You're going to have faith with works. You can't be believing these stupid Christian pastors that are leading you down a road to perdition. Okay? This is 2 Ezra chapter 15. I'll begin at verse 1. Behold, speak you in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. All right? And the men of GMS, starting with the apostles on down, have been breaking down prophecy to the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, and some confusion of faces for decades now. Speaking in their ear, telling them what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai intends on bringing about. All right? Continue reading. Which I put in your mouth, saith Yahweh, and caused them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, meaning they are going to come to reality. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against you. Let not the incredulity of them trouble you that speak against you. All right. And clearly you can see the accuser of the brethren, Esau, Edom, all right, is speaking against you. All right. Trying to bring about that old spirit that the Edomites had on them during slavery times and afterwards, Jim Crow and all of that. All right. They're going to start going after you Israelites. So you can see the build up to this. All right. Verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. This is going to come to reality. All right. Sooner than you realize. Verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually, because Esau, Edom has been unaliving the saints, all right? His bones are full of the sin of his youth, all right? They have committed many atrocities and put many righteous, innocent blood unalived, all right? And it cries on to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So the Lord he's about to stand up on our behalf, all right? Verse 7, again, or Salaki, verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent from among them. Behold, my people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And I feel through the Spirit, this is closer than we realize, all right? And Egypt being spoken of here is likened unto America, because it is spiritual Egypt as well. Spiritual Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritual Rome. All right. And the flock that he is going to remove out of the land of Egypt is the 1/3 remnant elect of the nation of Israel. All right. And he's going to avenge all of the innocent blood that has been shed in our nation on these heathens. All right. Because you can see that they don't fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They boast proudly of their heart's desire. They fantasize about unaliving us like that's some type of righteous thing. And they'll use anything to do it, including this assassination done by their own people against their own people. They'll blame you tribes for it. All right. That's how unrighteous they are. All right. Continue reading verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for the seed shall fail through the blasting of hail and with fearful constellation. So the Lord is going to bring about those old plagues he brought about upon Egypt, ancient Egypt, upon current spiritual Egypt, which is America, Babylon the Great. All right. Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. This is also lamented in Revelations 12:12 when it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the devil have come down upon you, having great wrath, knowing that he have but a short time. All right, roughly paraphrasing. And it's lamented right here, 2 Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world, woe means destruction, and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth near. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Again, alluding to race wars, class wars, civil war, world war. And you're living in that time as we speak. Your salvation is uncertain. All right. None of us know if we are of the elect, but we give diligence to make sure our calling and election is sure. And we can't participate in worldly ways. All right. These Edomites making threats, we're not afraid of you. All right. The elect, the hopeful elect, they're not afraid of Esau, Edom. They're afraid of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So therefore they practice restraint and control. All right. And we have to be under control because as the Lord said, if this were his kingdom, we would be authorized to fight, roughly paraphrasing. But this is not our kingdom. This is not our rest, as it says in Micah 2:10. So what you have to do is depend on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for your safety. All right. And only those who have been endowed with the gift of faith and of works, because faith without works is dead, are going to have even an inkling of a chance to survive what is coming. All right. And this is telling you there's going to be wars, people fighting against one another with swords in their hands. And the modern day sword is the pew-pew. All right. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth near, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Seditions are uprisings against the government. All right. And invading one another. And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able because of martial law. Lockdowns, all right, civil unrest, chaos, brewing in the streets, rioting, looting, murders, grapings, all manner of chaos is about to descend upon America, Babylon the Great. You don't have long if you are of the house of Israel to get your ass in order under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. But again, I fear it is too late. The elects, they're probably already almost sealed. All right. Which doesn't leave a lot of room to come in. This truth is time sensitive. All right. All hell is about to break out, people. All right. And it's going to start with race wars, class wars in this country, leading to civil wars and ultimately world wars coming as well. You guys got to keep your head on a swivel and trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. I'm going to leave you with this. We're going to go to Job. And I'm going to go to chapter 5. I'm going to scroll down. And I'll begin at verse 17. It says, behold, happy is the man whom Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai corrected. That is the elect of the nation of Israel, those who have been meekened. Okay? As it states, the meek shall inherit the earth. Goes on to say, therefore despise not you the chastening of the Almighty, for he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. He will make us whole. He will also defend us. Continue reading, verse 19. He shall deliver you in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch you. In famine, which we just read in 2 Ezra 15, famines, pestilences, plagues, sword, all of that is upon our people, as a flock being led to the slaughter. Verse 20, in famine he shall redeem you from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Right. We must put our trust in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. Not in our own weapons, not in our own selves. Period, point blank, end of discussion. The names of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it and is safe. Verse 20 again. In famine he shall redeem you from death, and in war from the power of the sword. You shall be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shall you be afraid of the destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine you shall laugh, neither shall you be afraid of the beast of the earth. All right? And don't you get it twisted for 1 second. Esau, Edom is a beast. All right? Hopefully this has been edifying, but you see what direction all of this is heading. Shalom.